Let's start with Ylgr then. What's her BST?
151, and she has no super boons and a super bane in HP.
Okay, very interesting. 151 places her along the same lines of a lot of other heroes, but isn't that still enhanced compared to Generation 1 heroes?
It's the Gen 2. It's Gen 2 ranged BST. A trainee BST for Gen 2 would be 157, which is only Cliff right now.
So yeah, I mean, I would not expect it. I would not expect it to be like that. Cliff is very different so far, so no, I wouldn't. I don't think you should be placing like trainee BST on everything just because you did it one time. Like, this is now the standard. No, that's wrong.
That's how you do power creep.
Yeah, that's gonna piss off a lot of people if that's how they feel. Like, no, that shouldn't be the case, and I'm glad Ylgr didn't get that.
Yeah, no, thank goodness she didn't. Surtr did though. We'll get to that.
Okay, and going through this. 38 HP, 33 attack, 38 speed, 33 attack. That gets to me.
Has a lot of attack.
Because I thought she was gonna have low attack. Her, if you guys remember her dagger, doesn't it add 4 attack, 4 speed when she has more speed?
Which gives her an automatic double.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's also speed plus. She has 41 base speed.
She's so fast.
You take so if you're at plus 10, you're taking say like plus attack minus res or something. You're gonna have about like 54 attack, 45 speed, and then you tack on the attack speed plus 4 for 58 attack, 49 speed.
And then you have chill speed, which can effectively be 56.
Wow.
It just keeps, yeah, you can just keep going up.
That is absurd. But at least she's a blue dagger, so it's not quite, you know, what the hell.
All right, well, okay. Well, that's, you know, her distribution is therefore really, really good because her defense, her res are pretty mediocre, but her HP is okay. So with that attack, that speed, and with her dagger ability, she's an offensive force.
And then she has adaptive damage in her ace slot, don't forget.
Oh, right, you're absolutely right. That's, so she has, what, 47 attack? Base?
47 base attack, and if you do plus attack, it's 50. So you go from there.
You go from there, and the A slot will target the lower of defense or res, which is really ideal because a lot of armor heroes have high defense for low res, or a lot of mages have high res, low defense, so you always get the best scenario. Just setting it up is kind of weird because you have to place her next to a mage hero.
Yeah. The interesting part is how that skill actually works. So Sorcery Blade is, of course, an adjacent to magic ally using low def or res when attacking. Now, as for the skill inheritance, any physical infantry unit can have it.
Any physical infantry.
So that applies to swords, lances, axes, bows, and daggers.
See, that's what I was getting at because that's crazy good. Okay, it's one thing for ranged heroes to use it, but it's gonna be even harder to set up. I agree with that, but it's one thing for ranged heroes to use it, but melee heroes usually have higher attack, so you could potentially get legitimate one-shots that way.
Oh yeah, no, like, I mean, if you really want to be overkill, Levitain doesn't need her A slot, so you just give her that adaptive damage, and no matter what, she's going to be doing a massive amount of damage with her attack.
Wow.
I mean, you still have to consider that you have to be adjacent to specifically a magic ally.
Of course. Which, in an arena setting, that means the skill is useless, but in a more PvE or arena assault setting, it's a pretty fearful skill.
I mean, in an arena setting, you could always have like
you also have
on a ranged unit.
Yeah,
duel.
Yeah, so I don't think it's useless. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna have some very threatening niches in the future. Not to mention she has speed tactic and chill speed for extra fodder.
Yeah. But all this makes it really interesting to build her because she kind of has like 2 different skill sets here. Her A slot skill is better off used defensively, as in like she gets attacked, then she counterattacks, and she just one-shots them. Well, actually, that wouldn't really be. Well, maybe it would be realistic because she comes with Glimmer. It's just the dynamic of this because on one hand, because she has more speed and because of her ability, she's much more likely to double. if you give her something like Desperation, she gets those 2 shots off, and she gets to use a dagger easily. But then your A slot skill would therefore be should probably be different. I don't know. I'm just thinking like, how do you build Ylgr? This is really interesting.
I mean, building her in the enemy phase is going to be difficult, but if you really want to use her, the chances are you'll probably have to ditch that A slot in order to make her a fully offensive unit.
That's
I mean, you can set up mages, but realistically, you're better off ditching the A slot. It's not like her attack is useless anyways. You could easily make that something worth using, like 54 and up. So it won't exactly be harmful, you know, to switch it.
Right. And the other thing is she's actually really bulky. I mean, it's not like legitimately really bulky like for melee heroes, but for range heroes, effective bulk of what? 60 for defense plus HP is 60. Defense HP plus res is 58. So realistically, because how hard it would be to double her, she's going to survive at least 1 shot really easily.
Yeah, no, her bulk is definitely serviceable in that regard. She can easily take 1 shot. I mean, a lot of ranged units these days are getting 38 and up HP, but she can definitely take a single hit without much of an issue.
Okay. Yeah, I like her skills. I like her stat distribution. Her BST isn't ridiculous like Cliff's, but realistically I don't think it makes much of a difference. So.
Nah, it's fine. I'm just surprised her res is so low. I was expecting her to be kind of like her sister and be a res kind of unit.
I thought she was gonna be a mage, so this is still way too different for me.
Yeah, not what I was expecting from Ylgr.
All right.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, but okay, that's enough about Ylgr. We were on her for like a long time. We're gonna go to a hero that everybody really wanted to talk about. So Surtr is actually in the game. I don't think anybody saw that coming because it's the first time ever we're getting a boss hero. Or as a hero.
Final boss.
Yeah. They had a chance with Veronica with Bruno, but they passed on it both times. Surtr's the first time ever.
Yep.
And we're talking about Fire Emblem Heroes hero. Like Fire Emblem Heroes bosses, not like Fire Emblem bosses. We've got a ton of those, but yeah, this is really interesting. So
yeah.
Legion, what's the BST and the
179.
Wow.
With a super boon in get ready, attack and defense.
Wow, that's so stupid. This is meant for whales. You get those super boons are perfect.
His super pains are unfortunately HP and speed, so if you want the 180, you have to drop his res.
Yeah. So on the whale side, you're looking at the choice between 63 attack or 51 defense with his weapon.
Yep.
The standard Surtr will typically take minus res, which means at plus 10 you'll be seeing 34 res. So he still has kind of a smaller weakness in that sense.
Oh yeah, no, his res is still serviceable.
But you still get a ton of whales that don't care about the 180 because
they're whales.
They still score. Well, the thing is, even if you don't take the 180, they're still scoring like Male Grima and
yeah, they'll still
Legendary
make it.
Hector and those units. So
yeah.
You could still take like a plus res minus speed, screw the BST, and then just start pumping stuff up from there.
Right.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, you'd be getting like 47 defense and 41 res.
Well, that goes to this. You could have perfect IVs on Surtr really easily. You know, if you don't care about that extra bin, which a lot of whales don't, as you said, you could go for minus speed and go for plus attack or plus defense, and then he will be even more monstrous.
Yep.
So it's not like for free-to-play players when we have to pick between like Gwendolyn and Sheena, and we have to go for like plus speed on those heroes. Like it's not like that. For one thing, the super boon here is useful, and for another thing, for those heroes, they're already like really far behind in BST anyways. So this is crazy.
This is absolutely nuts. I said I would be scared of Surtr, and I still am.
Absolutely. All right, let's quickly.
It's kind of similar to when people would replace Halloween Mer's perf and then because like a 180 BST without a perf weapon still scores the same as like a male Grima with a perf weapon, stuff like that. So even though you would probably, like, if you really want that optimal scoring, the trio of the red, green, blue armor core with 180 BST, you would drop the res. But I have a feeling that a lot of people won't.
Yeah, definitely not. People are going to want Surtr to live as long as he can, because in his kit, yeah, he kind of wants to live for as long as he can. Which we can go over.
Also, True Whales will just plus 10 2 copies, one for score and one for ether.
If you really want a whale, which, to be fair, isn't very hard because of the rates on this banner.
Right, okay. But let's just get down to like what makes it really, really good. I feel like Surtr's just like a perfect hero, you know what I mean?
Yep.
He could reach 180 BST, therefore, and he has a special weapon, and he has a really unique skills too. So he is like, he's worth the maximum amount of points basically. Past that, he is perfect for arena because this guy does chip damage and debuffing. His axe does 20 damage and chip, and as long as they're in one spaces, he debuffs them. So he's perfect for dragging along your Asgard trio to victory. More than that, he's on a banner, and apparently it's so easy to pull the damn guy. So you can plus 10 him for a lot fewer orbs. What?
Yeah.
What else is there to mention? He's perfect.
He's stupid. He's stupid good. Like, he has Peshkats as a C passive, and then he has a 20 damage passive on his weapon. Combined with the fact that he has Steady Stance 4, which is Steady Stance, and then Guard, and then he has Wary Fighter to mitigate his speed. Like, you can't ask for much more when it comes to chip. You don't even have to use him for offense. You just have to have him sit there. Just let him stand still and let the enemies take damage until your Asgard trio can kill. On the other hand, if you're fighting against him, you're probably not going to be able to use Fjorm or Anna to kill him ever, because you can't chip him. He'll just kill you instantly.
Yeah. That's the funny thing. Even with Wary Fighter, you just bait somebody in. They take 20 damage. You can't double it, but it doesn't matter. You kill them one shot.
Yeah.
Because you debuff and do 20 damage, and then you just attack them next turn, they're dead. It's oh my god, he's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's nothing I can really complain about. Like, I know we have no follow-up and Armor Smashers and Zelgius and all that, but I've even seen some of them, and in the enemy phase, Surtr can outright face tank certain Zelgius builds. Like, it's actually ridiculous how much Surtr can do if he's built correctly. And then I'm not even going to talk about ether raids, where he can literally just stand there, doing chip, not dying, and waste your turns.
Right. Guys, it's just, I'm kind of speechless, because I don't think Surtr was ever meant to be put in the game. And then somebody at IS was like, we need money. Like, you already made 30 million this month. They're like, we need more money. And then they put Surtr out. Like, this banner, 2-hero banner, like, everything's just so out of the blue here, so strange. I can't imagine why they did this other than for like money.
I mean, they already had some of the voice acting. If you check the Fire Emblem Heroes website, Surtr had barracks quotes already, so it's like they probably had it in mind, but they were thinking, let's wait a little while and then throw out these units. Like, when Book 2 was dying and we're worrying about Book 3, let's just throw them out there so that people have them and move on with our lives. That seems to be their approach here, and it's scary.
Okay, sure, but you saw the feedback. It's now, what is it, 5 heroes in a row, or that are like unique heroes, except for actually not. We can't count Makoto in there. But basically, we've gotten like a bunch of heroes in a row that are made up. They are not from Fire Emblem games. I'm not gonna consider heroes like, because Heroes characters are made for by IS. They're not like made by somebody actually working for actually, I don't even know for sure anymore.
No, I'm pretty sure that the dev team is the same, somewhat.
Like, I'm questioning it so badly these days.
They have a credits list if you check the setting mist tab.
Sure, but the credits list kind of just implies everyone takes part in everything, which isn't true.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm just saying, like, they're kind of like allergic to bringing in heroes from actual games at this point.
I think
That's what it feels like.
My main argument here is that because we're not in book 3 yet. This is just some paralogs for filler. They just took out the units that they didn't want to put on the actual banners and threw them here as kind of like a little wasteland to give us something to pull while we're waiting. Not actually making anything interesting, but just some stuff to get us by while we wait for the next book. Because we do have some pretty interesting banners upcoming in the next year for book 3, as opposed to paralogs.
All right, but you could have put any other banner in too. It didn't have to be this.
It didn't have to. I'm just saying, I feel like it would have been a little silly if I saw some like Radiant Dawn units coming out on a random paralog that appears just to be overcasted by book 3.
But that's what they do in the past too. It's not like every paralog made sense.
Those early paralogs did not make sense. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, guys, I think it's very clear with Surtr. We could go on a tangent about like why he's here or whatever, but he's here and he's a god.
Yeah.
I would easily put him into top 3 best heroes in the game. I would even argue he's the best hero in the game because all you need to do, as I said, he's perfect for arena assault, perfect for GHBs, LHBs, anything, in everything in this game. He is basically perfect for. Is he perfect? No, obviously you can kill him, but for like ether raids, for like the amount of utility you get for him and how easy it is to get him, it's too crazy. Like this is it. This is possibly the best hero in the game. I think everybody should pull for him.
Well, just as a heads up for those of the people that are going to have him and use him and build him and put him on their defensive teams and stuff, it's because his weapon and C skill works within a 2 space radius, you're not going to want him to have boots or march because then he would be easily baitable. I would rather him stay still.
Good.
Yeah, he wants to not be the one that gets baited. He wants to bait you.
Good call, but I think that also, I think close defense or like distant defense is perfect on him.
Yeah, I think close defense.
Right, because if you bait Surtr in any scenario, you've managed to take 20 damage and get debuffed. So,
except if he gets marched.
Oh yeah, of course, except if he gets marched. So if you give him distant defense,
just like back to ward spam. Remember that?
I think ward spam is now going to get to absurd levels, because you just keep Surtr alive, especially for ether raids. You keep Surtr alive, and because he's using Worry Fighter, man, it's craziness.
This guy is gonna rock in ether raids and just about everywhere else, and it's really horrifying, which is why I'm gonna pull for him.
Yeah, I was originally gonna say not to pull for him, but at the same time, like, I don't want to really like the idea of a 2-hero banner, but I basically just gave him away. I'm not okay. That's not completely true. You still have to. It still takes quite a bit of orbs. You're saving some orbs in terms of efficiency, but damn.
Yeah, no. No matter what, this is just a really good banner if you really want that busted unit.
All right, but that's enough about Surtr. I think it's really clear how good he is, and I think Ylgr, even though we're kind of brushing past her, I think she's easily. I want to say best blue dagger. Am I missing somebody?
Ryoma. So yes.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. The last dude from Shao Dragon. Still can't say his name.
Gharnef.
Barf. Okay, it's Barf. 30 HP, 30 attack, 34 speed. 34 speed. He's fast.
Yeah, just a bit.
27 defense, 23 res. So what are his skills?
So his weapon is Imhulu. We'll get over that in a minute. His A slot is Mirror Stance. His B slot is Chill Attack. And then his special is Ignis for some reason.
What? What?
Yeah, Mirror Stance is going to be available at 4 stars, and Chill Attack is going to be available at 5 stars.
And then he has Ignis for some reason. Like, why?
I just think like they have a lot of heroes that they're these GHB heroes. I don't think they really intend you to use them. Just fodder them.
Oh no, they're either to fodder or just to have fun with, because Gharnef's tome is evidence to the fact that he's not like, professional kind of stuff. He's a little gimmicky. So his tome is Imhulu, which is his tome from Shadow Dragon. Grants res +3. At the start of turn 3, deals 5 damage to non-magic foes within 5 columns centered on the unit, and inflicts status on those foes, preventing counterattacks through their next actions. So essentially, on turn 3, he does Scotty, but with an extra 2 columns of range, and inflicts Candlelight.
Okay.
If they're melee.
Yeah, and it's a little less damage than Scotty.
It's also only half damage, but you know.
All right, well, that's very interesting. I mean, at this point, I feel like Scotty is just like, if Scotty activate every 3 turns, it would be worthwhile.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Although to be fair, not often does the fight go past 6 turns unless you're being serious.
But you could stall it. I mean, that would give it a
True.
utility. Now I just
then it
think
would be
if
like
you're in
having
like a
Surtr.
if you're in a grand hero battle or bound hero battle in which
Yeah,
they
you could
stand
drag
still,
out.
you can just like end turn forever and
No,
then
no,
just
no,
get everyone to
they
1
just-
HP and then run advantage.
no, wouldn't the battle just start if they take
No,
damage?
they don't. If they take past
They
2
don't
damage,
move. It's been tried and true.
Hmm.
Say for example the Michaelis battle.
yeah, they don't move. If it's passive damage, they won't do anything, which is also something you can possibly abuse on Surtr.
Well, that's what I mean, because it's now on Surtr, and Surtr is so much better. It's not 10 damage, it's 20.
Well, it's also the fact that he's got to be in melee range in order
But
for
that's
that
fine,
to work.
because
Yeah,
this man
it's
has
not
steady
gonna it's not
stance.
gonna be possible because well like if you just want to chip them to 0, it's not gonna be possible on Surtr.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'll kill them.
The other thing is Surtr's a summonable unit, and these are GHBs that are supposed to kind of just be for fun and for fodder rather than for serious use for the most part.
Right. Anyways, what do you think Barf should do as a hero?
I don't know. This guy is just really weird. First of all, he has the 3rd lowest attack out of any red mage, which
Right.
is surprising. Yeah. He only has 44 attack with his weapon, and his speed is all right. He has some pretty good mixed bulk, but he doesn't really fit a particularly unique role, which is kind of annoying because he looks cool, but he doesn't have anything that's really making him special outside of his kit. Like, use him as you will, but you won't get much unique use out of him. That's all I can really say.
Mhm.
You're better off using a real red mage.
Hell, even the other free-to-play GHP mages. The other free-to-play
Arvis.
GHP mages or Tempest Trial like Arvis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
He's a good mixed tank, but
It's
I mean, like
Yeah.
the idea here would be like since his effect only works on melee units and stuff, it would be like oh you attack the melee units and then you bait the ranged units because of his like mixed bulk and he has mirror stance and chill attack, which is like the idea, but I don't see that getting far.
not with 44 attack. You kidding me?
right. At least with other mages, you could kind of see what they would do because they had high res, low speed. This one's like moderate speed, and because he's GHP, you can't manipulate that speed. 34 speed base isn't bad, but when you're a GHP hero, it's not like very easy to salvage.
Yeah, I mean he has chill attack, so he does have pretty good res bulk and defense bulk against those kinds of units, but there's not really much to say on that regard.
Mhm.
With the advent of grails and stuff, even though it's at this point in time it's a little unreasonable to look at bound hero battles and Tempest Trial units as like +10, but +10 it starts to get a little bit more reasonable to be able to use them effectively.
Yeah,
Right. But I don't. Like if you give me like the red hero tier list, he would be, even if the red mage tier list of the free heroes, I think he would be on the bottom. I'm just not thrilled.
I don't think there is anyone that's really worse, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, mixed bulk isn't bad. I'm gonna use him because he looks fun, but compared to the other red mages we have, he's nowhere near as usable in general combat.
hmm
And you have to really work with his kit too, like Ignis.
Yeah. It doesn't make
But,
sense.
Now, I don't get what he's going for, but I don't like it much. He's cool, but not really looking forward to him as much as other GHBs.
Yeah. Hey.
At least he's better than Canis.
Wait, no, I disagree with that. How do you figure that, by the way? Because that's an Altome, and his res isn't bad, so you just slap Q on him and you already have a roll. I'm not sure where you go for this though.
Gharnef.